We're gonna get going.
All right, so I'm gonna go get my bit.
All right. She's grabbing the bit because she knows how this piece works. We start with the color application. I start the bubble after the fact.
So I am just gathering on a regular pipe here as relatively large as I can in terms of a first gather. Real soupy here. And I'm going straight for our green over here, our nice watermelon. Right here. Look at that, just kind of rolling up onto it. Are we doing 2 of these or just 1?
You're in the green?
Yeah.
I think we should definitely do maybe 2.5 schmacks.
2.5 schmecks. All right.
And just take
So
your
this is
time
how I
on it
do.
too, because I'm a little warm. That glass sure has heated up over the day, and I'm gonna need a second to shape this up.
All right. So this is how I do 2.5 schmecks. So I go in, I actually give it a pass on the marver myself here, and then I go back right into the color, picking up not quite as much glass as I just did, but it still's got some picking up there. It's got stickability.
Stickability, folks.
Stickability.
I'm gonna blow the bubble in here. This one's gonna be we're gonna see if Uncle Dennis can capture this on the camera. Here's the challenge. I puff some air in there. My breath's expanding right now. I'm not sure how well that shows up on the camera. Everyone's got their own camera abilities, and I see him working it over there. He's figuring it out. But that's got a nice air bubble in there. I told her to take her time because if this was this hot and she brought the bit over right now, I would totally collapse the bubble.
Yeah, we don't want to do
Put
that.
it on there. Because it's moving too much. And I'm turning it smooth, but you see if I stop turning, it wants to completely droop one way or another. Look at that.
The funny thing is, I have to keep mine ripping hot. Because I've got to go into the mold over here behind me. You ready?
I'm ready. So she's dropping into the mold, folks.
I'm going to give this a quick pass.
A beautiful color pattern.
And with the drip, squish. Ta-da. Now I gotta give this a quick reheat on this. And I come right over to Jake here. I'm gonna be at an angle.
This is a good one here. Watch this. We stick it, and then Marcy starts twisting as much as she can while we lay this onto the side. This is pretty well presented right there. You're going to see how those ribs that you put into the piece, it's a 20-point mold, and we've got molds that have up to, I think, 30 points, and we have them down to 12 points. Usually a symmetrical amount. There's
That's
our color.
the green bit that we got. But watch until Jake blows this out. Then it gets really cool.
Big time. And so when we have 20 points, and she's swirling it as we're laying it on there, those ribs are overlapping. And by going in the mold, you give thicker and thinner spots of color. So those thicker spots of color are overlapping. It almost looks like threading, like we threaded together a layer of glass.
Like a weaving basket weave pattern.
Exactly.
But it's so fine that actually saying basket weave doesn't make a whole lot of sense to us.
So we're just going to take it to Squishville here. We just roll it along the marver. And you can see it's changing color, that green, because I'm squishing it on an inch-thick steel plate, and that's pulling a ton of heat out of the glass. We're talking like hundreds of degrees per second. So I really only, as much as I'd love to stay there and move that back and forth and let Uncle Dennis zoom right in on it, and you guys could all start drooling about how satisfying it is, it doesn't really work like that because the glass cools so fast. It will become rock solid within like 4 minutes, and it just wouldn't be able to work. Wouldn't have any movement in the glass.
Yeah.
So now's the part that I'm thinking about the shape of the glass. I've got a bubble, I've got my color pattern, I'm letting it get a little bit longer here, but I want to remember that those guys did not want a 27-ounce glass, right? Beautiful.
Yeah. Why don't you come on over here and watch this?
So we're going to expand it out, kind of shaping it up. These guys know, good. It's guys know the way these come together, so they understand that this is going to be the bottom, that's going to be the top. That's about where our size is so far.
It's looking good.
Real good.
That's looking great.
So these guys also know after getting many pieces done that the color is not going to be 100% true to what we picked out during the process. So this green looks pretty green while it's good. It gets kind of straw yellowy. But for a lot of new customers, when they come to a happy hour and they pick out a bright red and they see it coming together and it looks totally brown, you gotta let them know how that works.
It just amazes me how you can work with the colors that way
Low light.
when you're looking at them in a different.
Good.
You don't see them the real way. You see them the hot way.
Yeah, you gotta picture it in the future.
Yes.
You know?
It's like Wayne Gretzky. I skate to where the puck's going to be, not where it is.
That's right. Bring the hockey references on the show, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's totally true. There's a lot to be thought about, and I'm still learning about color every day. We're actually planning on putting up, we made little mini ornaments of, I think it's like, gotta be like 65 or 70 different colors that we keep in stock here. And we're gonna make a display of all 70 of them and have that for custom orders so people can kind of pick and choose and see what's going on. But that's just gonna mean that I've gotta learn my colors even more and know which ones work together and which ones don't work together. We'll take let's cap it on this one.
Alrighty.
Go for that black foot.
I'm gonna be weird. I'm gonna lick my hand.
So right now I'm stiffening up the side of it. Marcy is trapping the air inside the pipe. And I'm gonna squish it down until it's relatively flat on the bottom. Not perfectly flat because we're still gonna apply a foot
Yeah.
on top of this.
Now, the reason I licked my hand and then capped it was because I wanted to make sure the air was trapped. I don't know, some sort of seal extraness. I'll be right back.
All right, she's going for the black foot. Let's take a look at that color pattern.
Oh, that is great.
Those waves overlap
I like
maybe with the light up
I
there.
like the cross-hatching there, how they overlap.
Pretty good.
Awesome.
Transparent, you got clear, and the green's gonna be fairly transparent as well. So I think you kind of get the best of both worlds with the color pattern. What do you guys drink mostly? What are you gonna be drinking out of this?
Probably IPAs.
IPAs?
Or stouts.
Or stouts.
Okay,
I love them both.
very good. Everyone's got their own style of drink, and it's pretty cool coming
Or
into
you know,
happy hour.
a nice glass of ice water works well in there too.
Ice water is a classic. I tell people all the time, I have a mug that I use every morning that's specifically my water mug. It's a bigger mug, it's probably like 22 ounces, and I make it I have to drink a cup of this every morning no matter what. Keeps me hydrated. Well done,
Especially during the summer.
routines. That's looking like the perfect size, Marcy.
Uh-huh.
Looking beautiful.
Now,
I've
I'm
got
gonna
Glass
quite
Academy-
literally.
Glass Academy mug next to me at the computer all the time.
All right.
So I'm just heating this up, guys. Trying to keep this relatively
I'm
symmetrical.
gonna come right over here.
I'm gonna drop this right on top.
So this is really where the teamwork glass blowing comes into play. She brought enough glass, she brought it plenty hot, so that once I cut it off, I'm gonna have the time, the heat, and the mass that I need to be able to shape this up into the foot that these guys want.
Look at that beeswax burn. Burn,
All right,
baby,
squish it
burn.
up.
Just gonna burn out. Burn, baby, burn. That's all I got. That's
Beautiful.
all I remember of the
That was,
song.
that was good. I like that a lot.
So these paddles are cherry?
This guy's actually metal. The paddle she was using, yes, is cherry wood, and that's a great point. Something we probably haven't talked about in a while. We were wondering if we were going to do a tool of the day explanation. We knew we had 3 people to get through, so we didn't do one, but maybe the paddle would be up next. Cherry wood's a much denser grain wood, as I'm sure you guys know. But for everyone who's new out there watching us tonight, seeing us sculpt up some custom drinkware, the cherry wood's super important to what we're doing. You don't use cherry wood, they burn through, and you can already tell. This one, I was talking to Marcy about it earlier, is getting pretty thin right in the middle where we use it. It's kind of on its last leg.
Now, I got a pony for Jake on our nice counterweight here. He's gonna come back here real quick, right?
Yep.
Yep. Just making sure everything's lined up and temperature oriented correctly.
This fascinates me how you move it together.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
very weird.
And it takes a lot of collaboration to have these pipes move together. You know, Marcy's got her hand, she's stabilizing the whole pipe, but also not putting any tension on what I'm doing, because that would totally affect the way the on-centerness was went. The on-centerness, folks.
Woo!
Yeah, baby.
Hey.
All right.
Now set this down, and I give it a deep flash to heat the whole thing up, and then I'm actually coming right to the lip, so we're heating just the top part.
All right. Thank you, Marcy.
Do you want that now, or do you want to trim?
Let me get a trim on it.
All
I
right.
think I'll be good without you for the trim, but you could go for you could go for it.
All right, I'll be right back.
Probably 3 schmacks.
3 schmacks.
So I'm going to go for the trim up here. This is where I decide, and especially as we're designing right now a multiple product lines for the website of specific drinkware that we're going to recreate, we're going to have available just like the rest of our products online at the Glass Academy website. It's very important to trim each piece that you make. For both a thin lip, you cut off the extra glass on the top, but this is the size or upper move. And so when these guys say 16 ounces, it's super important that I pull this out nice and thin and choose the size of the piece every time I make it. I hope everybody's doing amazing out there tonight, folks. It's a beautiful day. It feels real weird not having Chris and Michelle here. I assume they're driving on the road using some sort of lunar hotspot right now to watch what's going on.
Oh yeah, we're already getting their telekinetic stuff coming in.
Telekinetic energy.
Telekinetics.
But I hope you guys are doing great tonight. Show 150. Always switching it up and figuring things out.
But we're having
I
fun,
could
right?
cut that up here and have it be a big mug, but I'm actually going to go in a little deeper. Right about there, I'm thinking. How's that look for a height?
Oh, it's great.
We got
Pretty good.
thumbs up from Steve.
Thumbs up from Steve. Verbal.
I am going to superheat this, so give me a second.
Beautiful. And just hold it up on your way over.
Will do. I kind of brought a chunky bit.
We're going to go for a lip wrap here. This is a pretty cool color application. It's for color, but it's also, you said you like the lip wrap for color, but do you ever think about having a thicker lip? Do you like drinking out of that thicker lip a little bit?
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
We're comfy on the lips.
Sure. Hey, you're not stabbing your lip at all? Like super thin slicer?
Little
I love
tap.
watching the lip wrap go on. It's just
So
mesmerizing.
satisfying.
Yes.
It's like a wiggle worm.
All right.
What's your favorite part of the lip wrap application, Suzanne?
Oh, to watch it?
Just to watch it?
It just is just going in a nice circle, and then it amazes me how you kind of keep it the same consistency as you stretch it out.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
very
bring it
hard
back
to
and
do.
can make it join just perfectly. It's seamless, and it's like magic.
Magic. Okay, so is glass blowing magic, alchemy, or science?
Isn't it all three?
Is it all three? Do we think it's all three? I don't know.
You could take a poll.
Can
We
we put
could
that as
do
a
a
poll
poll,
in the
yeah.
comments or something?
That's a great question.
Magic, alchemy, or science?
Good. See
Put
those
that in
flames coming
comments.
off. Super important that these jacks are extra beeswaxed up when we're making drinkware, because you don't want scratches, you don't want that metal scraping up the piece anywhere on the inside or the outside for that matter. Steve, would you pull over and maybe both you guys pull over one each of those mugs and we can take a look at the size compared to those two? Because I think we're pretty darn close right now. Let's take a gander. I won't heat your beer up too much. It's a hair larger.
Oh, yeah.
About
This
the
is a
same
little
as the
smaller
pink
than that
as the
one.
white one, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Alright.
it works though.
Perfect.
Great eye for the size.
Not bad.
Yeah, the walls are a bit thicker because of that threading bit that we put on. So I think it will be just the right size. Nice job, Jake.
All right, Marcy, I'm gonna hand it to you. It's a little
turn.
warm. If you would give the punny a little bit of a torch, it's a little chilly.
Oh yeah, it's already cracking on us. What the heck? So I quite literally come in at this fire right to the backside of this pony here. Because I don't want to heat the lip of this because that's already super hot and moving and groovy. So I'm adding extra heat to the bottom so we keep this kind of stick it bit fender that we got going on nice and stable.
Go ahead.
And I'm coming through. Jake's coming behind. I'm giving this a deep, 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 deep heat for a good long time.
How long of a time, Marcy?
More than my typical 5 seconds. Because I want to make sure that pony starts to glow in a way, but not the cup itself too much. And that's going to be kind of my challenge at this point because I want the pony to start retaining heat, but not the cup itself. Especially when we come in with our nice handle that Jake's going to put on, our nice ear handle. Is that what we wanted? The nice
We're going
shape
with
of that?
the ear shape.
The
Do you
ear
like the
handle.
classic shape or you like the ear shape?
The ear shape.
Ear shape it
Ear
is.
shape. It is.
Classic.
Ear shape is like the black one we have over there. The one you're holding has the traditional handle.
That's what I thought. This is traditional, this is ear. Which do you want?
All right, Marcy, let's switch it up.
I mean, one last
You want
splash.
traditional.
Traditional. You got it. Personally, I don't think the ear shape handle, maybe, Suzanne, would you hold that up
Yep.
and show them the difference between the two?
Here.
Maybe after we get
And
this
pass
handle on
off.
here. That ear shape's on the left, traditional's on the right. And I'll explain that in a second once we get this handle on here.
Ready?
I'm ready.
How many in? With the squish and the pull, snip and a drop.
Whoa! Look at that bubble.
Man, Jake is just cool.
Now
as
I
a
gone and done
cucumber.
made a mess. I'm sorry, I spooked you, Jake. I was right behind you.
All right,
You good?
I'm good. Got the handle on there, it's looking pretty good. And we're gonna go for the gold saddle, Marcy.
Nice gold saddle.
And then with the leftover, we're using that as a stand. So that went on pretty darn smooth right there. I got a nice bend to it. I think that's looking like about the same size I was seeing in yours. Could open it up a hair more, perhaps. Really, you only get maybe
All
2
right.
flashes max to adjust that handle any more than it already is, because once that equalizes and cools down with the rest of the mug's temperature, it's pretty much set in stone. And any kind of adjustment you want to do is going to alter the rest of the mug.
I'm just picking up a
behind
little
you.
bit of gold here. Make it nice and shiny. I'm surprised you didn't pick Dendrine on this.
I like the watermelon big time. It's one of my
You are a
favorite
watermelon man.
things. A watermelon man. I don't actually eat it that much.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it's pretty healthy, isn't it?
Oh,
It's just water.
just don't eat half a watermelon in one sitting. I did not learn that from personal experience.
Sounds tough, Marcy. Here goes the squish. Let me see your thumb size, Steve. Oh, yeah.
Not a super big thumb.
Traditional thumb. I won't give it the rock side to side. How's that looking?
Ah, sweet.
Nice.
She's got the stamp lined up and ready to go. All Marcy's pretty good at multitasking. You see how this is going down? And here comes a little gold GA stamp, folks. This is the final touch to every piece we make, whether it's a snowman, a slug, or a battle axe, or a mug. We put this guy right on the side of it. GA stamp. That's how you know it's made by us. It's made by hand here at the Glass Academy. And we're gonna iridise it. So let's take a good look at it right now. Take a good gander.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's
that
looking
is
pretty
very
good.
nice.
It's a
Beautiful.
little off center from the pipe, but that's only the adjustment down here. So the piece is perfectly symmetrical. But we're gonna give it the bling bling right now on that thumb saddle and on the GA stamp. You see Marcy has turned up the flame in the hole. She's back there just working the furnace. And if you take a good look at that thumb saddle,
Oh
see
wow.
that blue
It really
sheen
brings
Isn't
it
that
out.
to it.
amazing?
Yeah.
Blinging. Pretty sweet. Yeah. All right, all right. So I'm gonna knock it off here, folks. I'm gonna get a little bit of water on here before we've got time to look at it and have any sort of mishap go down. We're gonna take this over here.
Woo!
That's right. Got to avoid the treachery.
Why don't you guys come on around? so we
Avoid
can
the
see this?
treachery. And it
Oh, look
pops
at that
off
amazing
perfect.
honey.
Beautiful.
Oh wow.
Color's starting to pop
Now
a
I can
bit
see the
more.
green.
Yeah, look at that
Yeah.
green starting to pop through.
Really coming out.
And I'm just kind of torching out all those stiff bits. Give it a little spoon in, make sure it's nice and rounded, smooth, and surfaced.
I knew you had the butter knife. I didn't know you had the spoon.
We use all the cutlery. and
All
I'm
the
making a mess.
cutlery, folks.
All of the cutlery.
Preheated the tongs. This is our last chance to take a look at it before it goes away, folks. Marcy's got the door for me.
Ta-da!
Into the 1,000-degree oven.
Oh, that was 950. 1,000 degree 950. It doesn't really matter.
Woo!
Oh, thank you.